Okay, now I'm going to show you here different things we can do. If your IV channel would say occluded on patient side, I'm starting my fluids running. Gone down the road, you're running just fine. Patient's getting the fluids, the rate and the volume, everything's set by the ambulatory care, and all of a sudden it stops flowing. It says checking line. It's going through in its memory box. It detects something isn't right. It's going to go through this and it's going to check it. Okay, here's your alarm. It's the red. And if you read the screen, it says occluded patient side. Okay, so we have to look now at our IV site. Remember, this is connected into the patient. The alarm's going to keep beeping until we correct this. And this is where you start looking. Look at your IV site, feel it. Make sure it's not infiltrated. If it feels soft, no infiltration, start looking up the IV line. Okay. We don't see any kinks. We're looking. The IV site we're going to say is right in the hand. This is soft. We're looking up the line. We're not seeing anything. Everything looks like it should be good. It was running fine, then all of a sudden it stopped. Then we notice the patient has their hand bent at a weird angle. Enough to maybe it's where it's pulling the IV catheter out. Maybe it's what we call a touchy IV site. Maybe we need to pull back a little bit. You pull back a little bit. And it checks, and then it goes back to maintenance infusion. And we're like, well, that was weird. So start looking. Make sure that the site's good. Maybe it is. Their hand is just bent a little bit. You're going down the road just fine. I'm going to hit pause for this purpose. It's on standby. It's not running. The yellow light shows you it's on standby. It's paused. It's gone through the memory. It's checking again. And it'll take a couple minutes for it to go through and check and see what's the matter. And at this time, if you happen to see this, you might want to go up and just start looking right away. See what's wrong. Remember, the patient's IV is right here. We have it in the hand. Always read your screen. It's going to tell you right on the screen on what the problem is. Keep saying it's checking the line while we know something's not right. We can start looking, and we notice, yeah, everything looked good. It was touchy. We've corrected that problem. We pulled the IV back a little bit, and here's our occluded patient side again. We notice we have a big kink in the IV tubing now when it's supposed to be running. So we need to straighten out that kink. We straighten the kink out. We hit restart. And here we go. We're running again. Just different things to watch for. And this is where you need to troubleshoot. Like I said, watch for infiltration at your IV site. Watch for a kink in the IV line. And it can be even up higher. Say everything is connected to the patient and it was fine. When you went up the line, you noticed it was kinked. unkink it, straighten it out, hit restart. That's what it's for here on the channel. Hit restart, and hopefully it starts running again. We've had patients play with these when they're in the back of the ambulance. You know, they're nervous, whatever. They're playing with their IV tubing. They'll kink it off, and when they kink it off, it stops the. It can stop the IV fluid. A lot of our IVs will be in their elbow. They bend their elbow up. That's going to stop the flow of the IV solution. So we need to straighten their arm up, remind them not to play with the tubing, remind them to keep their elbow open. You get a bad site where it's infiltrated, you're going to need to start a new IV site. I'm having a mess here. You'll need to start a new IV site, but just different little things to troubleshoot with. We've all had patients do weird things with their IVs on the way down to the hospital. I'm done. How's that? Is that good enough?